Congress leader Manishankar Aiyar has once again stirred the hornet's nest as we inch closer to the final phase of the elections with his remark referring to the 1962 India-China war or the Chinese invasion of India as an alleged one. Aiyar made the contentious remark during the launch of a book, Nehru's First Recruits, just yesterday. In a video from the launch event, he is heard saying that the Chinese allegedly invaded India in October 1962. The Congress leader later expressed regret for saying so, but only because he did so in the middle of election season. Meanwhile, the Congress party, which is no stranger to Aiyar's loaded comments causing it embarrassment and more, distanced itself and asked for some leeway due to Aiyar's age, which is 83 by the way. The BJP is least impressed and it has given the National Party another handle to beat the Congress with, especially on the very contentious issue of foreign policy, particularly the periods under Nehru, which routinely are raised by the BJP for its alleged blunders. Are Aiyar's comments a reflection of a deep-seated apologia and delusional mindset on what China really stands for? Remember, in the past, Congress and other opposition leaders have made comments related to Pakistan that often display a sense of desperation in wanting to keep the rogue country relevant and important in India. Given that Aiyar has not taken back his words, only expressed regret on the timing, is it a mere faux pas or a blatant attempt at revising history? We'll take that question to our guests in just a bit. First up, as always, let's break down facets of this story for you. Take a look at the political showdown that has been triggered because of Manishankar Aiyar's faux pas, if you would call it that. While speaking at this Foreign Correspondents Club of South Asia in Delhi yesterday, the veteran Congress leader referred to the 1962 India-China war as alleged Chinese invasion. BJP's Amit Malviya was soon to hit out at the Congress and question it over its alleged love for China. Moments after triggering that controversy, Congress's motor-mouth leader Aiyar attempted a face-saver. He said he shouldn't have called the 1962 war an alleged invasion by China in the middle of elections. That's the important caveat that he was making. I shouldn't have basically said it right now, even though I tend to believe in it, is what the impression you get. But Congress countered his statement as an apology and claimed that Aiyar said what he said mistakenly. Now, does it sound like a mistake is another big question that comes to mind. Now, Manishankar Aiyar is not new to controversy. Earlier this year, in the month of February, Aiyar sang praises of Pakistani people, termed them as the biggest asset of India while addressing an event in Lahore. And earlier this month, a video of his old interview went viral, where he said that India should engage in a dialogue with Pakistan and respect its neighbor, or India could end up paying a heavy price. Why? Because Pakistan has an atom bomb. So I'm just listing out some of the instances from this election cycle itself. Some statements have been made now, some have been made in the past, but they continue to come back to haunt, particularly the Congress party. Now, Aiyar's comment is being seen not just as politically problematic given it is election season, but is this also not a blatant attempt at revisionism of Indian history? There can be hardly any doubt about the Chinese invasion in 1962 and the subsequent fight that Indian troops had to mount at various fronts despite huge disadvantages. Take a look at these two memorials. One is, of course, the memorial at Valong, where the three tall statues of Indian bravehearts stand. The other is the memorial at Rezangla, which is also famous for a big battle that was fought by the 8th Kumaon in the region, and both from 1962. These are war stories etched in the annals of Indian history, military history from the 1962 war. So is Aiyar claiming that these battles never took place? This martyrdom never took place? These memorials are for alleged invasion? Are they figments of our imagination then? That leads us to the big question we're asking. How are we to look at Manishankar Aiyar's comment? Is it a mere faux pas, as some would like us to believe? Or is this an attempt at revising history, particularly the bits that some in the Congress party may not like? That's coming up in just a bit.
In October 1962, the Chinese allegedly invaded India.
Use the expression alleged, but I shouldn't have done so. Yes, I shouldn't have done so because we're in the middle of an election.
कांग्रेस ने जो देश के साथ अन्याय वर्षों तक किया है और जो देश को कमजोर भी किया, नहीं तो कोई कारण नहीं था कि भारत की स्थिति होती।
ये जहरीली सोच कहीं और से नहीं आती है। ये वही राहुल गांधी है जो डोकलाम के समय हक्का नूडल्स खाता था चीनी दूतावास के साथ।
Mr. Manishankar Iyer himself has apologized.
श्री मणिशंकर अय्यर उत्तेजनात्मक और भावनात्मक बयान देने के लिए प्रसिद्ध हैं।
Let's go across to our guest joining us, Charu Pragya of the BJP, Arshprit Kadiyal of the Congress Party with us, Major General A.K. Sivach, Defence and International Affairs expert, also Ashok Sajjanhar, former diplomat with us. Arshprit, I'll start with you. I know what the Congress Party has said. We've played out that clarification. Of course, Jairam Ramesh has come out to say two important things. One, that the 1962 invasion in October was very much real. And he has also come out to suggest that, Manishankar Iyer doesn't matter. He holds no position in the Congress Party anymore. He's a former minister, former parliamentarian, etc. But the question that arises is this. Why would someone of Manishankar Iyer's pedigree say something like this? Is it not problematic, deeply concerning, that someone who's played the role that Manishankar Iyer has played for so many years in the past is even attempting to revise Indian history, recorded Indian history, by saying, this was an alleged invasion in 1962?
Thank you, Shivani, for the question. I request that I may kindly be allowed a minute uninterrupted. Mr. Iyer is 83 years old. He made an unintentional error. He apologized for that. The Congress Party has made it crystal clear that we have nothing to do with that statement. We have distanced ourselves from it because it is not our perception, not our perspective. However, if the Bharatiya Janata Party says that it is to be attributed to us, well, the Bharatiya Janata Party's flex is really flying away. I could see in Charu's fame. That's going to happen in India as well because of the lies and the propagandas that the BJP has been spreading. Nevertheless, what I was saying is that if it is to be attributed to us, then what Brij Bhushan did should be attributed to the BJP. Kuldeep Sengar did and said should be attributed to the BJP. What Chinmayanand, Sandeep Singh and...
They have no other pitch for anything, Shivani. This is how Congress operates.
One second.
They have a one-word reply to any question.
Charu, please take care of the flex. It's been falling. I hope you're fine. Number two, what I'm saying is that the Bharatiya Janata Party should talk of the contradiction of Mr. Modi, of his own government. When the LAC incident happened in Ladakh May 2020, when 40 of our Jawans were martyred, Mr. Modi contradicted his own government stance. There was a press note released by the government after Mr. Jaishankar spoke to his counterpart, and Mr. Modi said, no intrusion has happened.
Okay, I'll come to Galwan Rally 2020 in just a bit. I understand that. I understand Congress Party's position on Galwan 2020 very clearly, and I understand that, but I'm not sure that is a defense for what Manishankar Iyer said. Before I go to Charu Pragya of the BJP, Arshprit, my only follow-up question to you is this. If Manishankar Iyer's comments are deeply offensive to the Congress Party too, which I assume it is, given Jairam Ramesh's statements and tweets, why is it that despite being a repeat offender, there's literally never any action against him?
Well, despite being a repeat offender, Brij Bhushan's son has been given a ticket. Despite being involved in the farmers' issue, Mr.
I told you he has a one-word answer to any question.
Mr. Mishra has again been given the ticket whose son mowed down the farmers. Now, the Bharatiya Janata Party, if has this logic, then they should have removed...
No, it's not Bharatiya Janata Party's logic. I am very much happy to own this question myself. As the journalist and the anchor here, I'm asking you seriously, There is a history to Manishankar Iyengar's comments. It's not about the position he may currently hold in the Congress party. And no, the party cannot be held accountable for everything every individual says. I understand where you're coming from. But then at least the party has to show the intent to punish people who keep making these statements.
Talking about that, the party will definitely deliberate upon it. However, the Bharatiya Janata Party should lead by example, by expelling Mr. Mishra, by expelling Mr. Brij Bhushan, by expelling all the leaders that have cases pending, that have uttered statements which
well, there are enough
derogatory.
leaders in the Congress party who have cases pending,
Well, a lot more
including
than-
your top
a lot
hierarchy.
more than-
So I'm not
a
quite
lot
going to
more than-
understand. No, I'm not going to quite allow that as an argument for a leader who makes very problematic statements, including personal derogatory statements in the past.
Problematic.
Okay, one second.
incident Actions are there.
One second.
of
Okay,
Bharatiya
Charu
Janata
Pragya,
Party.
your response,
Not the
first of all,
statements.
to the fact that these cannot be attributed to the Congress party, and Manishankar Iyer's age is 83. As Jairam Ramesh says, there must be some allowances made for that.
We'll make allowances for his age, but what kind of allowances do you want us to
Depsang and
make for
Demsok,
Rahul
what about
Gandhi's
that?
statements? Because even he speaks out against the Indian army. Even he speaks in derogatory
What of
terms
Depsang
with
and
respect
One
to
by
the
one by
Indian
one.
army. Not
Ashpreet,
once,
now you
but
will please allow the
repeatedly.
other panelists to
Ashpreet,
speak. Charu Pragya only, yes.
Just following her.
And Shivani, let's go back in a little bit of history and explore the way Manishankar Iyer has been functioning, thinking, behaving with the approval of the Congress party. This is the same Manishankar Iyer who goes to the people of Pakistan and appeals to them to support the Congress party. Please
Mr.
tell
Modi
me,
also
how
went
is
there.
it that the support of the people of
Actually,
Pakistan
Mr.
is held? No, he made a speech. Arshpreet, you know, Shivani, I cannot debate like this. You
I
have to
wish
put
I
up
don't
with
have to do
this
this.
man
Can you just
speaking over
put
me.
Ashpreet's fader down? Unfortunately, I'll have to do that. I cannot allow repeat interruptions like this. I'll allow
And-
everybody uninterrupted opening comments, please. Yes, Charu Pragya.
And I'm going to go back and repeat myself, because if Arshpreet's excuse for Manishankar Iyer is age, what is his excuse for Rahul Gandhi? Because Rahul Gandhi also makes derogatory comments against the Indian army repeatedly. Rahul Gandhi gets applause from the Pakistanis, from the Chinese. It is Rahul Gandhi who wants to sign an MOU with the Chinese. So their relationship seems to be pretty thick. And Manishankar Iyer has always operated on an anti-India agenda with the approval of the entire Congress, because if that wasn't the case, he would have been expelled long back. This is the person who goes to Pakistan, makes a speech to the people of Pakistan and asks them to support the Congress party. And I'm again asking Arshpreet this. How is it that the support of the people of Pakistan is helping you here in India? Because even now, Fawad Chaudhary is applauding you and your leader, and you have nothing to say about that. Using a word like allegedly in a situation like the Indo-Chinese war, which has impacted India till date, is terrible. We have lost thousands of acres of our land, Bharat Mata, to the Chinese because of you. We lost the India's seat to UNSC, to China, because of you and the behavior of your party members in the past.
Okay.
And instead of trying to make amends for all those mistakes in the past, here you are, even in contemporary times, continuing to make statement after statement which is divisive for India. Today, you say allegedly for China, Sam Pitroda calls a South Indian as an African and somebody else is Chinese and an Arab and a white, and you really actually think that you can come and defend day after day statements
Okay.
like this from your leaders, and you think the people of India don't mind it?
Okay, Charu, let me come in. A.K. Sewach, Major General A.K. Sewach, I want to come to you. I'm just a little bit shocked at what Manishankar Iyer said. I don't think it was a faux pas. I don't think it was a slip of tongue. He did realize, though, that politically this could be embarrassing for the Congress party. So he very immediately said that I shouldn't have said so because we're in the middle of election. But it gives you a hint that he still believes that there is something disputed about 1962. Now, I am not obviously an expert on Indian military history, but I ask you, what is it that could even compel Manishankar Iyer to say something like this? What is so disputed about 1962 invasion? Why would he say alleged?
Yeah, Shivani, it is very surprising and very strange. This is very well known throughout the world that in 1962 the Chinese have attacked India, and on 20th October not only in Ladakh, thereafter in Arunachal Pradesh, and now also 38,000 kilometer area of Aksai Chin is still illegally occupied by China. But certainly one can say that after 1962, we have changed quite a bit. And imagine in 1967, we again encountered 1967 at Nathula. And that is the time we again showed to them a color. 40 brave hearts were martyred, but we killed almost 400 Chinese. So the point which I was surprised is, you should be proud of your history. Okay, that in 1962 we could not fight that well because the reasons were beyond our control. The military fought well. It was the defeat of the politics as to how we have not prepared ourselves. But certainly we must say with pride that our soldiers have fought well. How can we forget Rajangla, where the 13 Kumaon have fought, and the brave hearts have shown to the whole world what the Indian soldier is made about. So the point is, if you pass such a command, you may pass commands, you can say that by mistake you have passed this command, but it hurt the sentiment of the soldier. We must be very, very clear. And I can say with a lot of conviction, do wrong, don't make it right. So we must think about it. But I can certainly say one thing. We are a changed nation today. Remember that from Arunachal Pradesh to Ladakh, our infrastructure has come up. Now we can look into the eyes of Chinese and the Chinese are also quite a bit afraid of Indian soldiers because we are battle hardened. Today we can stay in these areas in rarefied environment. We have been fighting in Sichuan and in Ladakh area. So one good thing which has happened after 1962 war is that we were quite well prepared for 1965 war. And in 1971 war, we have showed to the world that India might, as far as the military power is concerned, we divided Pakistan into two. So I suppose we should take pride in our history. There may be hiccups in 1962, but we learnt a lesson. And militarily we were not
but he's
defeated.
not actually making any defense for how well we were able to fight the Chinese incursion at that time. He's kind of giving a free pass to the Chinese for what happened in 1962. We're running some history of the lead up to that war in information on our screens. But I'm not understanding, Ashok Sajjanhar, where is this revisionism coming from? I mean, this is quite shocking that somebody who has had the capacity of Manishankar Iyer and has played the roles that he has played in the past would say so, because he's certainly not ignorant of history. So if he's saying this is an informed opinion of his, but why?
Yeah, I think that's a big question, Shivani, and thank you very much for having me on your show. I agree with you that it baffles imagination as to why he should be doing that. I agree with you. He's a very intelligent person. He's very experienced. He's very knowledgeable. He's a very learned person. So I don't think you can point fingers at that. But what it really tells me, number one, allegedly, I think it smacks of a mindset. And it smacks of a mindset not only of Mr. Manishankar Iyer, but maybe many of the other people in that particular party. Because as you mentioned yourself, or someone here mentioned, that, when the Doklam confrontation, the face-off was taking place, or was it the Galwan, he had gone in private to have a meal with the Chinese ambassador.
That's Rahul Gandhi you're talking about, allegedly, during the Doklam standoff.
Yeah, but then he'd also invited, at one time, just around that time, there was the former foreign minister of Pakistan also. So what I was saying is that it permeates. It is not only with Mr. Manishankar Iyer, it permeates the thinking of the party, unfortunately. And what it really means allegedly is that, of course, everyone knows that the war took place now, and the Chinese attack. By saying allegedly, it means that the Chinese did not attack, but the attack came from the other side. Meaning this is absolutely
it's actually baffling. What is the alternative history that Manishankar Iyer is talking about? If the Chinese didn't invade us, then what happened? Why did our soldiers die at Rezangla and Valong and Tawang, and why was the Trishul airport shelled? But okay, let's come. Yes, let's come to the larger question of the alleged China love of Congress leaders. What the BJP has alleged. There's an MOU the Congress party has signed with the CCP at one stage. We don't know the details of that. And then, your leaders keep coming out and talking about Pakistan, how how it's so important and relevant for us. There is some, you seem to be out of step, out of tune with how far the country's mindset has moved.
Shivani, if anyone, I request a minute uninterrupted, please. If anyone is out of tune with the country and what the people of country wants, it is the Bharatiya Janata Party. Let's not forget, if anyone has Pakistan Prem, it is the Bharatiya Janata Party. It was their leader that went there on a surprise visit, wished birthday to his counterpart, had biryani, had Kashmiri chai, sat in the counterpart's
But he was the Prime Minister. He's authorized to do this.
Of course, he's authorized to have love for the country, of course, Pakistan.
No, he's authorized to deal with the neighbors. What is the meeting that Rahul Gandhi is having? He has no official
What
position.
did he get out of that? 1 second, Shivani, what did we get out of
No,
that?
he didn't get much out of that, clearly, but after
Then-
that, he didn't make the same mistake.
Then, no, that undermined the sacrifice of our Jawans, that undermined the martyrdom of our Jawans. He should have asked our soldiers before going there. He should have talked to them.
No, it's
He should have
not
talked
as
to the
if
families who
Congress
have lost
governments have not
Shivani, if I
wanted
may
peace.
complete.
No, one
If I may
second.
complete.
You're missing the point I'm
I asked for a
making.
minute.
I'll give you a minute. My point is, Arshpreet, Congress
Yes.
governments and repeated governments since independence to 1990s, 2000s have attempted peace with Pakistan. There was this entire idea that we could work this out. We can't change our neighbors. We've got to learn to live with them. There was, of course, that Narendra Modi visit very soon after he became the Prime Minister for the first time. But since then, for the nth time when Pakistan backstabbed us after that gesture, and I think Nawaz Sharif is recently on record to say that they made mistakes by backstabbing India multiple times. Anyways, I'm not getting into that. But after that, Narendra Modi-led dispensation has not ceded an inch to Pakistan. Now, that's the difference.
May
Okay.
I now? So, attempt at peace is what you said, was allowing ISI into Pathankot Air Base, also another attempt by the Bharatiya Janata Party at having peace. Second of all, you talked of China love. China love is there for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Mr. Modi gifted a red shawl to Xi Jinping, to his counterpart. And
He's the Prime Minister, he's going to do that, no, to his
Of course.
counterparts.
One
That's not the
second,
same
now.
as the non-Prime Minister doing that.
Allow me to complete.
Arshpreet, haven't you ever been to school? You don't even need to go to college to understand this.
Okay, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Okay, get on with the point, please, Arshpreet.
Thank you. So instead of gifting a red shawl, he should
If
have
you have
shown
one.
a red, if I may please, a red, instead of gifting a red shawl to China
Are you
and to their
calling out for
leader,
war?
they should have gifted. Please do not interrupt me, Charu. I'd have to interrupt you. Otherwise,
Are you calling out for a war?
What I'm
No,
saying
this is a very
is that
sincere question to you,
instead
Arshpreet.
of-
What do you
instead
mean
of
by
gifting
that?
a
Do you
red
want a
shawl,
war for
instead
India?
of-
Is
Shivani,
that
you
what
will
Congress
continue to
wants?
finish. You may have
And
it.
I've
You may
asked
have
this
it.
in the past.
Shivani, you may have it.
No, one second.
Can you give a yes or no answer to this?
Okay, one second. Can I
have
just
a-
come in? Can I just come in? I want both of you to be heard equally. So I'll give 30 seconds on the clock to Arshpreet. Please finish your point, Charu. I'll give you a minute as well.
Thank you. So what I'm saying is कि लाल shawl gift करना बंद करो when you
हाँ.
need to show a लाल आंख.
Okay.
Due to China, due to the PLA, 40 of our jawans were martyred. And number two, I want to ask this question to Charu. Was there an intrusion or not? Was the foreign minister lying or was the prime minister lying?
Okay,
Because
let
the
her
foreign
respond now.
minister said it happened. The PM said it did not happen. So
Okay,
who's lying? Tell
let
us
her
that.
respond. But 30 seconds, please, Charu, respond.
Yeah.
Yes, very quickly. Now, when Arshpreet talks like that, I think it is highly irresponsible.
No, answer the
because
question,
the
please.
opposition has
Answer
done
the
that
question.
in the past, and
Who
they're doing
lied?
that right now. I'm
Who
answering the
lied?
question. Arshpreet,
Yeah.
Arshpreet, you had your say. You had your say. Now let me answer this properly.
All right,
Congress
please.
seems to be crying out for a war.
Who
the way
lied?
they talk.
PM
When
or
they
the
say
FM?
show a red eye, what is it that you're asking for? Do you
Who
think
lied about
bullets
the
were
intrusion? Was it the PM or
fired
was it
at the
FM
border?
lied? No, who lied about the
Nobody
intrusion?
lied. Nobody lied. And the
Both were
fact is
correct.
that you should be believing
Both were correct.
the Indian
One
army
said it
and not
didn't
the
happen, the other one
propagandists
said
that
it did
you
not
seem
happen.
to be believing. You would
Shivani,
rather
please
believe a
intervene here.
piece of trash
Because
published
Charu
in
is clearly not
China
understanding.
than what our army and generals
One
are
said
saying
it
right here.
happened,
Arshpreet,
the other
don't
one
do
said
this. I
it
really
did
get
not
a headache
happen.
when you do this.
Okay, okay.
Arshpreet, if I'm getting a headache, the viewers are definitely
Intrusion-
getting a headache.
intrusion
And I
Okay,
happened.
can I have
They
Charu
bought
with me,
her
please?
FM
Charu,
set,
30
they
seconds
bought
to
her
finish
FM
your point. I want to give a
set.
last word to our other two guests as well. Charu and I, please.
Yes, absolutely, and very respectfully, I will wrap up in 1 minute. Now, when Congress or members of the opposition speak like this, I feel like asking them, are you crying out for war? Is that what you want? Because even with the recent skirmishes that you keep quoting again and again, bullets were not exchanged between our soldiers and that of China. If you're talking of casualty to our brave men of India, a higher casualty was met by the Chinese, but even then your leader said, pitke aa gaye. That's the kind of respect that you hold. Another important point is that we do try and make our relations better with our neighbors. But when we realize that terrorism across the border is not going to stop, we make it a point to not talk to them. Not like you, who even recently is saying that, Arey Pakistan se daro kyunki unke paas bomb hai. That's the ideology and thought process of Congress. What are you saying, Harshpreet? And if you're crying out for war, shame on you.
Okay, 1 second. I want to give 30 seconds each to Major General A.K. Sivach and then
Shame
Ashok
on the
Sajjan.
BJP
No,
for
not
not
like this.
answering the question.
Harshpreet,
Shame
not
on the
like this.
BJP for
Ashok
not
Sajjan,
answering the
you
question.
were making a point earlier that there
Yeah,
seems to be a
Harshpreet is
larger
like very
malaise as far as the
non-stop.
polity is concerned. And of course, Congress has ruled over India for a substantial period of time. Their view of foreign policy has dominated what India has done over the first 4-5 decades of Indian independence. Do you think it's time that there is a difference that comes in the Congress party as well, in the way they look at both China and Pakistan threat?
No, absolutely. I think we need to see how we have done, how we have fared. And particularly, I could give one example, that is in terms of building the infrastructure in our border areas. It was said at that time, and it was said in Parliament in 2010 by the then Raksha Mantri, that we don't make infrastructure because otherwise it would make easier for our adversaries to come into our country. But you see how much we have developed our infrastructure, and that is what has helped us to go to the border, when the Galwan incursion took place.
So a lot went on, Major General A.K. Sivach, during the earlier years, which didn't really help India. Now, I don't want to open that chapter. Yes, people make mistakes when in government, and you could argue when we look back 30 years later, even to this period, we could argue that we've made mistakes. But, there seems to be a denial of the Chinese threat. What do you make of that? Very quickly, sir.
Shivani, I suppose the realistic approach of the present government has made a tremendous difference. If we are dealing with Pakistan, our deal is very different. Now, today, as far as Pakistan is concerned, we have isolated Pakistan in the world. We say there can't be any talk till that they stop this cross-border terrorism. Second thing which we have said is that if the terrorists will coming and striking here, will come and hit you inside your courtyard. As far as China is concerned, our policy is very different. Our policy is that first you make sure that you are equally strong. And by doing that, what you have done, you have upgraded your infrastructure from Ladakh to Arunachal Pradesh. You have modernized your defense forces, not only Army, Air Force and Navy, and you are now in a position to look into the Chinese eyes.
Okay.
So it makes a difference. Unless you are not equally strong. I said one thing, Shivani, you must remember that if you want to avoid a war, be prepared for a war.
Yeah.
If you are equally strong as far as China is concerned, there is not going to be any war. And the Pakistan is only an irritant, and that has to be handled differently. I suppose the policy is very realistic today.
Yeah, and it
We
is
have
that
realized as to
policy
how to
difference
deal
that has
both Pakistan
perhaps
and China.
come back to the fore with Manishankar Aiyar's comment. It may be a personal comment, the Congress may not agree to it, but what it does every time he makes such comments is it brings up history back into focus, and some parts of those history are not very favorable to Congress in the past. I leave it at that. I do thank our guests for joining us.